Record. Good evening, everybody. My name is Cami. It's an honor and a joy to be with you. And we have a special guest for you tonight for our deep dive. Um, this man has become a dear friend and such a wealth of knowledge. And it's such a joy to have you here, Dr. Roger Lee. Thank you for sharing your story with us tonight.
I want to change the paradigm that we're now living under. As you know, the citizens of the United States are really, really in bad health. In terms of ranking of healthiness, around with 38 civilized countries, we rank number 30. We spend 18% of our GDP on healthcare. We spend a lot of money on healthcare, and we're not the healthiest people on earth. We are very badly in bad health. I want to prevent this from happening. As a doctor studying medicine, practicing for 44 years, it's apparent to me that the doctors do not know how to prevent disease. We know how to treat disease. In my own personal case, where I had severe hypertension for 30 years, they were able to, so quote, control my hypertension. Control is the word, not cure the hypertension, but control. So they were giving me drugs every time I go see my cardiologist, a wonderful guy, trust him a lot, but that's what we do. We give you a pill. And if that pill doesn't work, we either increase the dose or we give you another pill. So I was taking 5 different pills at maximum doses, and finally it killed my kidney. And I had to go through dialysis. And finally I had a transplant, and I still had hypertension. If it weren't for Tracy telling me about the patches, I still would be having hypertension, and that would eventually kill my kidney. Transplant kidney only lasts for 8 to 10 years. Mine is going on 11 years now. So I was 74 at the time when I got my kidney transplant. I'm 84 now. I'm hoping that this these stem cells will continue to heal up my kidney. Now remember, I got to remind you, the company does not recommend treating transplants with their life weight patches because they're afraid that it might cause rejection. But that, to me, it didn't make any sense. I chose to take the patches, and so far, come March, it'll be 2 years, and my kidney's improving. My transplant kidney creatinine went up to 2, which is bad. It was showing signs of early failure, but now it's down to 1.6, 1.7. I'm continuing to monitor that. 1.4 for creatinine is normal, 1.4 or lower. So I'm at 1.6, 1.7. It's not going up. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, concerning prevention of disease, the case I want to present to you is for the blue zone. If we were to study, I don't know how many of you know about the blue zone, but blue zones are areas in the world where the people live to over 100 years old in fairly good health. The zones are Sardinia, Greece. There's a place in Costa Rica and Okinawa, and in our own country, Loma Linda. 5 different areas where people are living more than 100 years old in pretty good health. Everybody dies. And people in the blue zone die mainly from the heart. The heart just gives up because it's been beating every second of every day for 100 years. It's just a mechanical pump, and it's going to get weak and go to heart failure, and they die. But if you compare those people in the blue zone to the people living in the United States, age for age, there's less disease, chronic diseases in the blue zone people. In other words, if you take a 30-year-old person, there is probably pre-diabetes or diabetes in the United States, whereas in the blue zone, they don't have diabetes or pre-diabetes, and they don't have hypertension. As the United States population goes grows in ages, it there is more disease, more chronic diseases. In fact, if you were to look at the nursing home situation, we need more nursing homes. People are entering nursing homes, and I do not wish any of you to go into a nursing home. Most of the people going to a nursing home have dementia. They have they have problems with their arthritis, chronic diseases, and they have poor. They don't eat well, and they're weak. They're tired. They're in a wheelchair. You don't want to go there. You want to mimic the people in the blue zone. And so when you look at the blue zone, the people there are not obese. They're 5%, maybe 10% at most, have obesity problem. Obesity is defined as having a BMI of 30 or greater. Okay. But if your overweight is 25 or greater, that's just a calculation of your height and weight. But the way I tell you, and the most everybody will look at you, is by looking at your belly. Your belly fat will tell you how fat you are. There are two reasons to have a belt that hangs over your belt for guys. I don't know, but women. But for guys, if your belly hangs over your belt, you're overweight. Now, the way to tell if you have a lax abdomen, because as you get older, the abdominal muscles get kind of loose. And so your belly will protrude, but that's not because of fat. So the way to tell is you lie down, you put a yardstick between your top of your chest and the pubic bone. And if your belly pushes up on that yardstick or imaginary yardstick, you're overweight or you're obese. And obesity is a sign of visceral fat. Visceral fat is what's inside your belly. The good fat is around your skin, your face, your arms, your legs. That's good fat. You don't want to destroy that. That's who you are. But that belly fat, visceral fat, is what's going to kill you because it produces a lot of toxic material and it causes a lot of chronic diseases. So these people living in blue zone are they have very little obesity. And when you analyze it, the people in the blue zone are eating basically what farmers eat. They eat whatever they grow. So if you go to Okinawa, where they have 800 to 900 people over at age 100, they're eating whatever they're growing in their yard or in the farms and so forth. And the people from Costa Rica are also eating, but they're eating more potatoes and starchy things like that, but they're eating fresh fruits and vegetables. Same thing for the Mediterranean diet when you talk about Greece or Sardinia. So the basic principle here is that you got to watch what you eat. One thing about America is the food industry is not your friend. They're not making the food more nutritious. If they're making it more tasty, and because they add more sugar, they add more salt, they add more artificial flavors, they add artificial color. It's the diet in America is terrible. The artificial color and flavors are made from petroleum. So when it's broken down in the body, guess what happens? That petroleum goes into your gut and it doesn't do good things to your bacteria. So when it kills off normal bacteria in your intestine, you're going to come down with a lot of chronic diseases. It causes arthritis, autoimmune diseases. Everything's connected to the biome of the bacteria that's in your intestine, normal bacteria. Don't destroy that by eating crappy foods. And that was my problem as growing up as a kid. my mother, and a lot of you are my generation, but we ate margarine. We cooked margarine because the margarine was advertised as better than butter. So we margarine was everywhere. Then my mother was saving bacon fat, and bacon fat was delicious. So whenever she cooks food, throw in some bacon fat. Well, that's really bad. Okay. And then at breakfast, I was eating Fruit Loops. You know, all that artificial flavored things that you have and sugar. There was not enough sugar for me because I added more sugar to it. And that sugar is a killer. You there are two things that people in the blue zone don't eat. They don't eat a lot of sugar, and they do not drink a lot of alcohol. The two things you must avoid is sugar and alcohol. Those two things are killers. Okay, so you studied the blue zone, and we got to mimic what what they do, and it's really hard because we live in a society where there's a lot of temptation. If you look at Loma Linda, right here in Southern California, Seventh-day Adventists, they're mainly vegetarians. And they don't eat. They eat certain fish. They only eat scales, fish with scales. So they don't eat eels. They don't eat abalone or crab or any of the seafood without scales. And the other thing is they only eat meat where their hoofs are split. So there's certain things you can eat, and it limits how much meat you can eat. And the same thing is true for Okinawans. Same thing is true for Greece and Sardinia. They don't eat a whole lot of meat. So, so you to prevent disease, look at the blue zone and do what they do. But I know it's very tempting because I myself will have an ice cream or eat something terrible. And when I go to a party, they have chips. I'll eat a chip. If they have pizza, I'll eat a pizza. And those things are really bad. In fact, I remember in my childhood, bologna, mayonnaise, white bread. How many of you guys ate that? That was delicious. I had three or four or five of them. That was really good. And that's a killer. Don't do that. That's really bad. So, what's happening is if you mimic the blue zone and eat the right foods, you're going to do well. Now, what's important is how can we use LifeWave in this scenario? Well, because we're not perfect. We don't mimic the blue zone exactly what they eat. We have a lot of temptations. So you must decrease the inflammation in your body. See what happens when you have inflammation? What happens is your DNA, when it replicates, it can make mutations in the replication. It can form uh, cancer cells, DNA that's precancers or cancer, or it can cause uh, old cells that will die, which is good. You want the old cells to die, but you don't want it to be a cancer cell, and you don't want it to be senescent cell. Senescent cells are zombie cells. Zombie cells don't die, but they act like zombies because they produce a lot of toxic material that hurts your body. So you must keep your body healthy as possible. So that's where the life wave comes in. When your life is not perfect, uh, do the life wave. Use the X39 because those repair cells will keep repairing the cells that are damaged from all that inflammation that's going on in your body. And then you take the Eon. Eon will cut down the inflammation because what fruits and vegetables that the blue zone people are eating is very important, but we don't eat lots of fruits and vegetables. So add Eon to it, and you're golden. You got everything covered. You eat right, and the other thing is you must exercise. Everybody in the blue zone, they walk mostly, or they work in the gardens. You must exercise. Exercise has been proven over and over again. The last JAMA, Journal of American AMA, showed the 2,000 people participated in a study where half the people got a regimented exercise, the other half were told to exercise. Guess which group did better? It was the group that was monitored to be exercising. The other group that were told to do it either didn't do it or did it, didn't really do it well or whatever. But the people that exercise had less dementia. If they had dementia, it improved. This is not rocket science. Every one of you that's listening to me must walk 30 minutes a day. Just simple. You don't need to join a gym. Just go out and walk. I myself, after breakfast or lunch, I will walk 1.2 miles every day. If unless it's raining or hailing or snowing or something, I will exercise. And I'm doing this for 6 months. Started walking, then jogging, and then I'm running now. So at 84, I no arthritis. I feel really good. Okay, the other thing is make sure that you have enough sleep. I don't know what the blue zone people do about sleep because that's never been part of the study about how they sleep. But sleep is very important. You must go into REM sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, rapid eye movement. That's when you're dreaming. When you have pleasant dreams, you are in REM sleep. And at least 1 hour of REM sleep every night is very important because what it does, it cleans out all that garbage, all the toxic material that's in your brain. Uh, and it helps to prevent uh, Alzheimer's and dementia. So you must put this whole thing together and change the paradigm so you don't need to go see a doctor. The first time you see a doctor for a prescription, you're handed a prescription, you're in trouble. Because if you do not change, every year you go see a doctor, he's going to give you another pill, another pill. And if you have side effects, oh, God help you. He'll give you another pill for that. You know, I've been there as a patient, as a doctor, because one of the things about my sister Betty, who had chemotherapy and radiation, she was really, really sick from all the side effects. And Dr. Tracy, who's also my doctor now, gave her patches because she was suffering. She had dementia. She not didn't have dementia. She had depression. She had anxiety, restless leg syndrome, fibromyalgia, tinnitus. She was really in bad shape. But Dr. Tracy helped her. She's all better now. She's amazing. And I think she's online. At least I think that's her. I see a Betty there, but I don't know if that's the right Betty. But but yeah, Tracy helped her a lot, and she's also helped me. If it weren't for Tracy, I wouldn't have normal blood pressure now without medication, and that's going to save my new kidney. Because as long as I had hypertension, that was going to kill my new kidney too, because that's what kills the kidney. So there you go. Um, change 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 the way you live, change your lifestyle. Get my handbook. The handbook's free. In my handbook I put the bottom line to everything. It's only 14 pages, but it has the bottom line, what you need. There's no fluff in it, there's no references in it. It's just straight talk. Get the handbook and you can read between the lines. If you want to do your own research, check me out, send me a message. I got it all wrong. I'm more than willing to argue and discuss things with you and as to what is really good. We need to change. Lifeway has a mission here that it can change the paradigm to healthcare. It can really do that. And as soon as if we can get the word out and more people can start using LifeWave and change their lifestyle, we're going to have our healthy nation back again.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm
good
done.
job, Roger. Very well said. And then that's certainly why I'm so passionate. It hurts me to see people struggling. I can't help but tell them about this because if we don't, who will? But
The
great
other
job.
day,
You've knocked it out of the park as you always do.
the other day I was at Costco. My favorite thing is to look at people and see what they put in their basket. This guy was 250 pounds. Okay, guess what he had in his cart? This big cart. He had six big bags of potato chips, and then he had these liter bottles or 2 liter bottles of Diet Pepsi. And I was like, that's gonna, he knew not to drink the regular Pepsi, but Diet Pepsi's no better because those artificial sugars that you put in your body does a lot of bad things to your intestine. You know,
Mhm.
that- I don't know what's wrong, but people just don't know what to do. I mean,
Yeah.
they kind of know what to do. It's just like a little this and a little this and a little this, but they don't have it all together. So I'm trying to put it all together for you guys.
Well, we appreciate that so much. And we actually have a question for you from Cynthia.
Okay.
She asks, how can those of us who are on hormone replacement therapy as a result of hysterectomy safely wean off of the compounded hormone cream? Do we use wild yam cream along with stem cell therapy patches?
No, okay, I got an answer for that. When your doctor removed your ovaries, you instantaneously will go into menopause. You lost all of your estrogen and progesterone. That that is terrible. Unless you're really worried about cancer of the ovary, leave the ovaries in. That's my philosophy. We were taught as doctors to, if you go into menopause, take out your ovaries because they don't do any good. But they do. They continue to produce a little bit of estrogen. Now, the estrogen that you use is hormone creams, and they're biologically the same as the hormones that you put in your body. Now, if you have ovaries still in you, what the SP6 will do, or the stem cell, I shouldn't use the word stem cell, I guess.
The
Uh,
repair cell.
these repair cells, right? Yeah, I want to be compliant with the FDA. I don't want to get everybody in trouble. Okay, these repair cells will reactivate your ovaries to produce estrogen. And that's what I think if I'm correct, I bet Tracy, when you do your blood test, check for estrogen. I'll bet your estrogen levels back up when
Oh, it
they're
is.
supposed to be dead.
Hmm.
Your ovaries are still there, but the SP6 or the X39 will regenerate, make your ovaries produce the estrogen again. Same thing for men. Your testicles will produce the testosterone again. But when you're at my age, it takes a long time to get everything activated. I've dug myself a really deep hole. I'm trying to crawl myself out of it. It's going to take a lot of patience. All this stuff is silent. You won't know about it unless you do blood testing. So the people that know about this are like Cami and Tracy and Jeff. You guys know about this, but it takes time. It's a silent healer. Just like hypertension and diabetes are silent killers, the LifeWave patches are silent healers. You don't know. But the most important study that I saw that convinced me that this is not a scam is the fact that when 50 people put the X39 patch on them and they had blood testing done, the blood test showed that you increased the copper peptides in your body. And let me tell you what copper peptides do because you do not know this. By 1970, Dr. Picard uh, took copper peptides and added it to damaged liver cells. and damaged skin cells. And what copper peptides did was healed up the damaged liver cells and damaged skin cell. Guess which one took off? It's the it's the skin cells. The cosmetic companies went crazy. Copper peptide was the biggest thing on earth in the 1970s. And if you go online and go to Amazon, look up copper peptides cosmetic, you'll see it ranging from $20 an ounce to $200 an ounce. The difference is it's the copper peptide that's important for the skin to heal up the skin and other parts of the body, really. But it
Mhm.
improves the skin. And when you rub that copper peptide into your skin, it heals whatever's going wrong with your skin. And so that took off, but it wasn't until 2019 that we found that finally somebody took the life wave, found the right light wave, which is 100 nanometers, 100 nanometers, red zone that activated copper peptides. And copper peptides, if you look on PubMed, will increase repair cells. I don't want to use
Excellent
word S and
information.
SM cells. Okay, so that's the history, and that's the truth. You guys look it up. This is not
I
a
trust you
scam.
with my life, and I have because I went under the scalpel with you. So my life was in your hands, and look at us now. You saved mine, and now I'm saving yours. How great
Yeah.
is that?
Hey, God has a lot of ways of coming into your life.
Hmm. For
Okay,
sure.
I believe that David Schmidt, a Christian, is doing this from the bottom of his heart. He's trying to help us.
Hmm. And he makes them very affordable, and that's very important
Well,
to him.
what it
He's
what it
had,
costs? Well, it will cost you $1.50 a day if you take one X39 and one Eon patch every single day. It'll cost you $1.50 a day. Now, who doesn't think that's worth it? That's not expensive. You go out and buy aspirin, it's going to cost you a lot of money already. And if you go to a hospital to give you an aspirin, it's $10 when they give you an aspirin to take. So you know, I know. So
yeah.
this is cheap for good health care, and you don't need a doctor, and you don't need a prescription. You can do it on your own.
I know it is so fun to get to walk side by side with you and help educate people on things that we just don't get taught, and we're just subject to being marketed to. But we have another question from Cynthia. So if they have no ovaries, are there other areas in the body that hormones can replicate? And would that be with the SP6 through the hypothalamus, the endocrine regulation?
Well, it's the same problem. Like my daughter-in-law had her thyroid removed. Well, if you got your thyroid removed, it's not going to activate your thyroid. She had cancer of the thyroid, so it was removed. So if you don't have a thyroid gland to reactivate, it's not going to produce any more thyroid, no matter what you do. Your the
Hmm.
X39 is
Okay.
going to do it, not going to do it. Your SP6 is not going to do it. Same thing if they took out your ovary, the ovary cannot be regenerated unless they left a little bit of ovary somewhere that they didn't take out, and that little ovary will start producing estrogen again. So that's the unfortunate part about doing surgery and removing something, because that may not be the best thing to do if you got nothing else wrong with you.
Okay. So her question is, if the ovaries were removed, is the best option to remain on bioidentical hormones and in addition to the patches? So the patches have something to work from.
Okay, now remember, I'm a doctor, but I'm not her doctor. Okay, I
True,
can.
very true.
Okay, all right. Now I don't want to get in trouble with your doctor. I don't want your doctor calling me and telling me that I'm full of it or whatever it is. I'm going to just give you a general principle. bioidentical hormones are excellent for in general for most people. Okay. In fact, there are a lot of studies showing that testosterone will decrease the chances of breast cancer. Testosterone also will not increase the chance of prostate cancer. These studies have been done, but the
Mm.
but it's still common knowledge among doctors and patients that hormones are bad for you. Uh, That the study that was done on estrogen causing breast cancer was flawed because the problem was the initial study said it was caused by estrogen breast cancer, but what really causes is these man-made progesterone called progestin. These are man-made ones. They're not bioidentical. They are statistically they cause the cancer. So you got don't go with man-made type unless they're the man-made biological hormones that are identical to your own body's hormones. Then you're probably all right. But again, I don't want to get in
Yeah,
trouble with your doctor
I understand.
or get sued by somebody. You know, I'm just giving you general principles. I'm quoting you studies. It's not
Well,
my
we
opinion.
appreciate all of your words of wisdom. And I know some people are asking where they can get your booklet. And it's on our website, harmonypatching.com. Roger recently updated that. He put more information in there on the blue zones. So if you go in on resources on our website, you'll find that. But
Or
thank
you
you
can
so
email me.
much.
I'll email Roger B. Lee at AOL.com. Roger B as in boy, Lee at AOL.com. Simple. And if you do that, I'll send you a copy. And I'm going to
Oh, aren't you
update this
kind?
every 6 months to 1 year as I do my research and find significant things. My next supplement will be on senescent cells because a lot of people don't know about zombie cells or senescent cells. So I will do the deep dive on that, and I'll condense it down so it's simple to understand. I want everything to be simple. I don't want it's not meant to be a textbook. It's not meant for medical students or doctors. It's meant to help regular people. It's free. My digital copy is free. Anybody can read it. I want it to be free. I want the information to go out to anybody. So,
Oh,
so
we
use
love
it.
your heart and your passion to helping us all live our best. And just to reiterate what Roger was saying about the way to stay healthy, and even if you're not in prime health, you can change that. And that X39 and the Eon he was talking about, that will work on about 80% of the issues that we have in our body. We have a few other patches for fine tuning if you have other specific issues, but those two patches, powerful. Dialing down inflammation through a peptide in the liver is huge. And then bringing back those dormant repair cells that created your body in utero before you came to this planet. Pretty powerful stuff when you can bring them back. So thank you so much, Roger. And to have our own resident retired oncology gynecologist share from his heart and his wisdom and brilliance of all his years of study and research. And he was at Walter Reed Medical Center, University of Washington, a professor, head of surgical departments, and a lot of very big, amazing titles. We're happy to have you and thank you for everything you do for our group. And our community loves you. We love you for all your participation in our events. And Roger will be our featured doctor speaker at the upcoming practitioner dinner on February 20th. So, as Cami mentioned, if you have a practitioner or a beauty provider, please invite them. It'll be a lovely dinner at Mama Stortini's February 20th in Puyallup. But we know we went a little over tonight. I apologize for my technical problems. Thanks for hanging in there with us. And we hope to see you back here again next Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, and Tuesday night as well. Everybody have a beautiful and safe week. And go Hawks. see you at the Super Bowl, hopefully with a trophy in hand. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.